This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. This afternoon from downtown St. Louis in Busch Stadium, we wrap up this series with the LA Dodgers and the Cardinals trying to earn a split. Welcome to the broadcast booth at Busch Stadium with the Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is with us as well. It's been an entertaining series and an entertaining game last night. Jimmy, Adam Wainwright, vintage old Uncle Charlie. Boy, was he special.
You said it, vintage Adam Wainwright. He was great again last night. I mean, what else is he going to do this year? He just keeps on going. Look at this, 8 innings. Isn't he getting old, Danny? 8 innings, only 4 runs, and earns the victory last night.
8 1/3 for old Uncle Charlie, and the bullpen made it stick. So now we turn the page. And today it's Jake Woodford. And last time out in relief, very good Saturday against the Brewers.
Yeah, this guy's been doing it all in relief. Look at this, 5 innings in relief, 74 pitches. So what? You earn a start today, Jake. Go out there and pitch yourself to a victory.
So Jake Woodford is on the mound. Tony Gonsolin for the LA Dodgers. Big series for Tyler O'Neill, included a home run last night. Closer look at O'Neill next on Bally Sports. In this series, some of them we'll see today. It's game number 4, the Dodgers and the Cardinals. Max Scherzer, the St. Louis native, terrific in game 1. Albert has hit a home run. So is Yachty and Waino last night. Fun to watch these guys still doing it.
I mean, it's amazing. And you know what? Look at the ages. Max Scherzer is the young guy of the group. But when you get older, you get smarter. These guys are still doing it at a high level. It's so much fun to watch.
It is game number 4. And the Cardinals trying to earn a split. We're in September. These games mean a lot. Dodgers and Cardinals coming up. Baseball on Bally Sports Midwest. Brought to you by Budweiser, this Bud's for you. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. An absolutely gorgeous day for baseball here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Game 4, the LA Dodgers and the St. Louis Cardinals. Jake Woodford on the mound for St. Louis. 1 career appearance against LA. That was back in early June. Came in to relieve Carlos Martinez in the first inning. And it was his relief effort over the weekend against Milwaukee that gives him the start today instead of Kwon Hun Kim. Mookie Betts at the plate. First pitch, a strike, and the 0-1 in the dirt. The Dodger lineup, some shakeups here, is even though they've been averaging over 5 runs a game, recently they're struggling. That includes Betts, his last 13 games hitting 190. Coming off a bone spur in his right hip, so Mookie Betts at the top of the lineup.
Oh, that's a pretty good lineup too. You know, Woodford today just strikes and pitch like he did the other day. Don't look at the lineup as this lineup is going to be that tough. You just have to stay focused and make your pitches. And I like this. You know, you put Jake in the lineup, you put KK out of the bullpen the other day. I just think it's nice to be able to have a little bit of options, especially coming down to the end of the year, especially down the stretch.
Woodford's first start since July 31st, and Betts with a fly ball out to left. O'Neill initially broke back under it, makes the catch, and the first out. Monday pitch arsenal on the right-hander Jake Woodford.
You can see it right there. Mostly fastballs, anywhere from 92.3 to, you know, in the low 90s. But the changeup a little bit, the slider and the curveball. But the key for him today will be using that fastball, keeping it down, and throwing strikes.
Muncy with home run number 31 last night. But he is 10 for his last 65, a 154 average. MVP candidate to be sure. He's got to pick it up here down the stretch, and he talked about it after the game yesterday. He said it's definitely our offense inconsistent. If you ask anybody on this team, they'll tell you we've really stunk on the offensive side.
That's pretty funny because it's a pretty good team.
Well, they're 88 and 51.
Yeah,
they're pretty darn good.
Maybe we're, I don't know. Is he, you know, I think when you're in the locker room and things aren't going as good as you would hope, yeah, you can say that, but like the record doesn't really say that. So, you know, sometimes you're your own toughest critic.
And Muncy, it's a fly ball into right. Lars Nootbaar for out number 2. Cardinals defense around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Dylan Carlson played a lot of center this year with Bader out, so Bader, it's a scheduled day for him. Carlson in center, O'Neill in left, Nootbaar in right. Nolan Arenado, Paul DeYoung, Tommy Edman, Paul Goldschmidt on the infield, and behind the plate it is Andrew Kisner for Mike Schultz Club. It's sharply past Arenado off the bat of Trey Turner. And with his speed, he'll trot into second base easily, standing up with a double. And it's now matching his career high with a 16-game hitting streak.
Speaking of options, how do you like to be Dave Robertson? Here's your leadoff hitter, but now hitting third. And by the way, your shortstop, he's just hitting .320 with 21 home runs. No big deal. Lead him off, let him run. One of the fastest guys in the league, steal bases, or put him in the 3-hole and you get a double off in the first inning. So I like it. I like to be able to move guys around and put pieces into different spots, and it's nice when you can kind of move your outfielders around a little bit, give your first baseman a day off once in a while, and just have an offense that just goes out there and grinds.
Now it's Justin Turner. The Dodgers have scored in the top of the first of every game in this series. All-star third baseman flew out in his only at bat last night, came off the bench, and that was following a 2-home run night ball game against St. Louis earlier in the series. 1 ball and 1 strike, calling the balls and strikes, Dan Iasonia. The crew chief, John Bacon at first, Jeremy Rehak at second, Scott Berry is at third. Dodgers start play 2 games back in the National League West of San Francisco. The Giants are now 90 and 50. They're 40 games above the 500 mark, and the 90 wins, they're the first to reach that mark. And for the St. Louis Cardinals, another huge game for them as St. Louis begins 3.5 back in the wild card. The 2-1 pitch, Woodford to Turner. Lined into right. Nootbaar is over and makes the catch, sliding to his left. Ball was sinking and Nootbaar came up with it. Lars Nootbaar, the rookie in right, just held on. Lineup: Paul Goldschmidt, Tyler O'Neill homered in game 3. Nolan Arenado sitting on 29 long balls this year. Dylan Carlson, Lars Nootbaar, Paul DeYoung, Andrew Kisner, and Jake Woodford. Tommy Edman is finishing this season on a high note, getting on base a lot, solidifying that top spot in the St. Louis lineup. Dodgers getting healthier. Tony Gonsolin activated from the IL, getting the start today. Neftali Feliz was DFA'd. He pitched in a couple of games coming out of the bullpen for Los Angeles. And the first pitch to Tommy Edman. Fouled back for the strike. So Gonsolin is a 9th round pick back in 2016. And that's a look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal.
Yeah, just fastball, slider, split, a little bit of curveball, but decent fastball, 94-mile-an-hour average. So good. See some good pitching today with both of these guys.
Missed the better part of the season with right shoulder inflammation this year. Last pitched in the big leagues July 30th. Dave Roberts saying this will be a bulk inning starter, meaning that it'll be more than just 1 inning. So he said we're looking at probably 3 innings or 45 to 50 pitches. We saw the other night they went through 9 pitchers to get through the game and beat St. Louis in game 2. Max Scherzer, magnificent in game 1. And Adam Wainwright was the story last night for St. Louis.
Pretty good changeup, whatever that is. Split. That's a pretty good pitch right there. Tommy's battling. But, you know, like we just said, using guys, being able to use everyone, keeping everyone fresh, but also, you know, getting everyone work, but also keeping everyone fresh is you're working on a playoff run right here if you're the Dodgers. And you just, I mean, you have to win games, but you have to be mindful of everyone out there. And it's not like, you know, you're pushing the button so hard to catch everyone. You're there. You just have to keep healthy and play every day to win. But it's hard, man. It's hard to manage in two different ways, right? Danny, you're managing Mike Schilt and your foot is throttled on the gas. And if you're the Dodgers, you're pressing on the gas, but you're also saying, okay, well, we're going to use some extra guys here, start an extra guy here. I'm okay to maybe, you know, give a guy a day off, but we're definitely out pushing on the gas. It just can't push so hard you run out of it.
Yeah, you got Will Smith, you got Corey Seager, you got Chris Taylor all on your bench today. Now Gonsolin was very good in the truncated season a year ago. Undrafted out of high school, made a name for himself at St. Mary's in college, and picked up in 2016. The 2-2 pitch, and now the count runs full. And the Dodgers are getting healthier. So Gonsolin here today. They traded for Danny Duffy, and he should be back in the next week or so, and Clayton Kershaw as well.
Lots of options.
Yep. 3-2 up the middle, backhanded, and into the shift, and a nice play. That's your third baseman, Justin Turner, making that play.
He just, like, the replay's got to be unbelievable if he could stay on him. He just makes the play like he's the second baseman, flips the ball to first base, and then just keeps on jogging back to his position at third base. Pretty good play right there by a third baseman. He's not used to flipping balls like this, like a second baseman. Watch this, just boop, and then just going to keep on going back to third.
It's well done.
That's a great play. Harder than it looks.
Strike 2, Paul Goldschmidt. So the Cardinals, initially we thought Urias, who's got 16 wins this year, the lefty, we thought he would make this start, and then Gonsolin healthy enough to go. So to your point, it gives Urias another day. They'll be going back home to take on San Diego. A day here or there in September for a pitcher is a big deal.
Yeah, I think anytime you get an extra day, just think about it. When you're tired, take an extra day of rest as any individual in the world. And as a pitcher, your arm is just getting abused, and you've got to keep it in shape. And then all of a sudden, hey, an extra day here, an extra day there is awesome. It's like having that day off as a player with the day off after it. You know, you take the Sunday and then you have Monday off in general, so you get 2 out of a 1, 2 for 1. That is even better.
149 hits, 4th most in the National League for Goldie, and making 150.
Never seen a fastball you don't like. Fastball's neck high.
Jimmy Edmonds, your Toyota key to the game.
Well, I'd like to just say that the idea would be to score early, to take a little pressure off of Jake Woodford, so he can go out there and just concentrate on throwing strikes and not have to worry about giving up a run here and there. Keep him in the game as long as possible.
There's Tyler O'Neill off to a very good start here in early September. 10 for 28, popped his 24th home run last night.
Look at second base right now. Too bad he can't just push bunt right here. You push bunt right here, and you got first and third with 1 out. Could be a double, maybe.
Austin Barnes may have seen the strings on his glove pop, and that'll go to normally, you know, somebody on the medical team. They'll restring that. You got an equipment guy there, but sometimes the medical guys do it too.
It's always interesting to see who would be the guy. You know, I know Chris Conroy down there is handy with the glove. Rip used to do it. Walshy down there, Mark Walsh. But, you know, having people probably think in the big leagues, you got plenty of gloves and things to use, but you like to have your gamer. So hurry up and lace that back up and give it back to me.
Well, some guys like it tighter. Some guys like it a little bit loose. You know, it's a variation of the glove that is to your liking for that gamer.
Well, it's funny how it works too, because you know talk about, you might like the glove really stiff but the webbing really loose, right? So you want to keep everything kind of stiff around the pocket, but the pocket be really stretchy, and so the ball stays in there. And then other guys like infielders like the glove really sloppy and loose to just catch everything. And so there's always a fine line in how you like it. And it's funny because I like to keep my glove kind of stiff a little bit with the pocket, but I didn't like the strings everywhere. I didn't like the pocket too sloppy. I felt like kind of a middle balance is what you're looking for, but everyone's different. But I'll tell you what, I wanted my gamer. If it broke, hurry up.
2-1 pitch, and now 2-2. So Paul Goldschmidt at first base with a single to right. 8th year, 150 or more hits by Goldie. And a swing and a miss, and a strikeout of Tyler O'Neill, the first in this ball game. And it brings in Nolan Arenado.
This is that split-fingered fastball, and you could see it's spinning like a two-seam fastball and just doesn't get there.
Dobbs tired. Otto centers defense. Souza, Bellinger, McKinney in the outfield. The Turners on the left side. Betts, Muncy on the right, and Barnes behind the plate. Nolan Arenado graduated from El Toro High School near Lake Forest, California. Resides in San Clemente. Grew up a Dodgers fan. There's a lot of talk that many believe that he would wind up with the Dodgers, and he winds up in St. Louis, and he's talked about how much he has enjoyed this experience of being in this baseball town.
You know what's really funny is, and I never thought about this to even tell you because it was in passing with Nolan and I, but at the end of my career I worked out with Skip Schumacher, and we met this guy named Jim Moss, and he was training us for a little bit and didn't even think twice. And so Nolan was over at my house the other day, and he goes, "Hey, do you still talk to Jim Moss?" And I said, "How do you know Jim Moss?" He goes, "Don't you remember when you and Skip used to work out with Jim? I was the high school kid."
Is that right?
Yeah, I used to work out with you guys, but I just never said anything because I was still in high school. I said, "No way." So what a crazy story that was.
Arenado grounds it to short. Cardinals strand a runner. I want to hear more about that when we come back. That's interesting. No score. And with more on Waino, let's check in with Jim Hayes.
Danny, it was pretty special to see Albert Pujols facing Adam Wainwright last night. Albert went 0 for 3, but he was impressed. Pujols told me, "Waino's pretty amazing, but I know the way he prepares. He doesn't have the same velocity, but that guy knows how to pitch. He kept us off balance for 8 1/3 innings. He has unbelievable command." Albert said, "The thing about Adam is he's such a good person. As much success as we've had together, it's our friendship that I'll always treasure." I pointed out to that Waino and Yachty are both coming back, so I asked Albert if he planned to come back next year. He said he will make his decision after the season. Danny, I tried, but no scoops for me.
I understand. Good effort, Cat.
There's only one scooper.
You got that right.
Oh, no scoops.
Here's Cody Bellinger.
No soup for you, Jimmy.
And the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strikeout for Woodford. His first of the afternoon. It's Bellinger who's come into play, hitting just 161.
It's unbelievable. You wouldn't think that.
Nope.
It looks like he's just, you know, that's the second time I've seen him go to a knee. And it's like, he looks like he's just not letting the ball get deep enough, because normally you would see either he could pull that ball foul or he wouldn't even swing at it. But you know, sometimes when you get hurt, man, it is hard to get going again.
There's Steven Souza Jr. just recalled by Los Angeles, and a breaking pitch in there for a strike. He's hitting 179. He's had parts of 7 big league seasons with the Nationals, the Rays, Diamondbacks, Cubs. Career .231 hitter. So you're working out with a high school kid, and it's this guy named Nolan, and he turns out to be Nolan Arenado.
Yeah, and it was funny because I totally remember lifting weights with him, but I just never put 2 and 2 together because it was, what, 12 years ago. So maybe even longer, way longer than that. And then I'm thinking, and he starts to talk, and I was like, there's no way that that was the same guy that was in the gym with us. But yeah, it's funny because every time we talk about where he's from, it's like I feel like, how do I never run into him, even back in the day? But that one winter, we worked out together, and he just never said a word. He was just quiet, worked hard.
All business, probably.
Didn't say much. Yeah, he's still pretty quiet, but you know, I love it, man. He's a gamer. He is constantly thinking and trying to fix himself and work. And his brother Jonah is in town, and they're like, he's in a pod, like just baseball, baseball, baseball. And it's cool to have them over the house and talk baseball once in a while. It's pretty fun. Landon gets a kick out of it too because he just gets in the middle of it and just listens.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Steven Souza Jr.
I mean, Nolan's a big guy. You know, he's, I don't know what, 6'3", 6'4", 6'2", 215. Jonah's bigger and stronger. It's a stud. His brother.
Many years in the minor leagues. The 2-2 pitch. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jake Woodford.
I like what Jake's done so far. He's thrown a lot of fastballs in order to get to the breaking ball, and this is a nice breaking ball, and this is perfectly placed.
So Adam Wainwright last night with win number 15. Here is Billy McKinney, and he did not have one until May. Went 8 1/3, and it's the 10th consecutive time when starting a game after a loss, and the Cardinals have asked Adam Wainwright to get a win, and he's done it. He's had a remarkable season. Cardinals have won 14 of his last 17. Waino is 9-2 in his 11 starts since the break. You got to think now he is in the conversation to get votes for the Cy Young.
Oh, I was just going to say, can you imagine? I looked at the thing, you know, we sit here and do these games, but for me, you know, we talked about this the other day. I'm watching the game. You're doing all this other stuff and all your paperwork, and you know, you're looking ahead and looking back. And I flipped open the internet and I saw him. He's second in the league with wins, and I'm like, wait, where did that come from? All of a sudden, he's just quietly worked his way up, and boom. And I'm like, he could legitimately win the Cy Young.
Well, he's second in wins, second in innings pitched, 10th in ERA, one of only 10 pitchers under 3 in ERA in the National League. There's a fly ball that'll carry to Tyler O'Neill near the line and makes the catch. Only Zach Wheeler with more innings. Urias of the Dodgers one more win. What a year. Serving overseas, watching this game on AFN, the American Forces Network. And welcome to those in countries all across the world aboard naval ships at sea. And most importantly, thank you so very much for your service to our country. Includes our friend Jack Lingle, who is watching today, part of our armed forces for many, many years. Thank you, Jack. And that'll be a base hit. Fair inside that right field line. Carlson digging for 2. The throw by McKinley, not in time.
Tell you what, that's good baseball all the way around. That's a great job by Dillon, and a great job by the right fielder McKinley going over there and making a great play and a great throw. I thought he had a chance.
So McKinney and Wright.
McKinney, sorry.
And Dylan Carlson hustling right out of the box and turning it to 2.
hustles all the way, stops it before it hits the wall. How many times have you seen that this year? None. Makes a strong throw, but Dillon running hard the whole way.
Here's a large Nootbaar shift on the right side of the infield. And the first pitch to Lars is on the ground to second, taken by Mookie Betts. Advancing on the play, Dylan Carlson to third, and it brings in Paul DeJong.
Positive out right there.
MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Busch Stadium. Buy and manage game tickets, redeem offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. So here is DeJong hitting 198, and the infield is drawn in. Shift on the left side. The Dodgers in this series, they haven't had those gradual shifts, you know, where sometimes might have the second baseman still on his side of the bag, but shading towards short. I mean, they're either putting three on one side or three on the other.
But like you said, they're not messing around. They have their second baseman or whoever it is completely over there, not just behind the bag, but like playing almost shortstop.
So Mookie Betts on the shortstop side of the bag, their second baseman today. And it's 2 balls and no strikes on Paul DeJong. Outfield is straight away.
Interested to see or to know why they would be playing on the infield here in the second inning with that lineup.
Runs at a premium, I guess.
Oh.
But they're not, you know, they're just not clicking offensively as much as maybe they did earlier in the year. Now, first couple of games of this series they did. They were shut down last night. The 3-0 pitch to DeJong, taken for a strike.
And I almost got to believe you got to be ready to swing there unless they're giving you the red light. But it's a pitch pretty much guarantee you getting one fastball in this at bat. That was it.
And the 3-1 pitch to the Cardinals shortstop. Took some off it, now 3-2. I'm with you. He's been struggling, and so you go to 3-0, and you think you're going to get a fastball.
Well, and you know, as the hitter too, you're almost afraid to swing 3-0 because then if you do make a mistake, and that's the problem, right? You can't be afraid, but yet it's human nature, and you're like, man, I've been doing well this year. If I mess up in a 3-0 situation, it's really going to look bad. But then, you know, you got to remember this guy's got a good split, a breaking ball.
Draws the walk, and now it's Andrew Knizner with the pitcher spot to follow. Somehow, some way, Cardinals need to strike first in this game with Woodford on the mound, the momentum of last night. St. Louis, as we mentioned, 3.5 out in the wild card. The Phillies are 3 back. The Reds now 1 back. Jason Hayward with a walk-off homer at Wrigley against Cincinnati last night. And if it ended today, it would be the Dodgers and the Padres as the wild card winners.
Danny, we were talking about this last week, how quickly things can change in the 4 or 5 day window, right? Well, what did I tell you about Colorado? I said, watch out for Colorado if they get hot. They were only maybe 8 games out. 4 days later, they're 11.5 back.
And on the flip side, in the American League with the wild card, it's now a team to watch out for. The Blue Jays a 1.5 games out as Knizner pops it back foul. So you have Boston leading the Yankees by a half game, but the Blue Jays have won 7 in a row, 9-1 in their last 10, and just a 1.5 games back of that final spot in the wild card.
Crazy. Well, I mean, you think about what the Cardinals were, what, 1 out, 1.5 out, a couple last week, and now they're 3.5. And it's amazing. You could lose 4 or 5 in a row and not lose any ground, and you can lose 4 or 5 in a row and lose 4 or 5 games in the standings so quickly. You see, like I said, Colorado, they lost 4 games, and when you play 3-7 over your last 10, and everyone else is 7-3, 8-2, and 6-4, you're going to disappear in a hurry.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Knizner. Andrew is 3 for 30 with runners in scoring position this year. Limited time playing behind Yadier Molina.
Well, you can see right there, you know, limited time is limited timing.
Yeah.
And this is a situation where you just have to stay inside the ball, hit the ball to right field, get the run in. And you can see, 95-mile-an-hour fastball, cheating a little bit, and then you don't get a good look at the split. They're going to get another one.
Base hit into center, Kisner. 1-0 Cardinals. Andrew on his way to second, diving in head first. It's a double and a 1-0 St. Louis lead off the bat of Andrew Kisner.
Now that's a good piece of hitting right there. Take a fastball, swing in a split, a bad split. You have to say to yourself, slow down and get a pitch to hit. Don't be afraid to get jammed when you got a hanging split-fingered fastball right here. He just stayed on it. Doesn't swing hard. This is a great job right here, especially with runners in scoring position.
Infield in, runners at second and third as Kisner turned it into 2. And now Jake Woodford, chance to help his cause. A little bit low and a ball. Woodford 091, no home runs, no runs batted in this year. And the 1-0 pitch to Jake Woodford. Hit right side, play at the plate, and they got him. But they're going to have to take a look at that and see if he even had a lane to slide in.
He didn't.
And they may turn this back over to a run for St. Louis. I'm not sure where Paul DeYoung is supposed to go.
Oh, this is what I'm talking about with the rules. It's like we've kind of forgotten about this, but this is old baseball right here. That's what you're supposed to do, right?
Well,
but
he's
now
got
it's
the
almost
lane.
illegal.
He's safe. I mean, look, if he's got the lane,
he's got
here,
no lane. It's blocking the plate right there completely. That is baseball. That's the way it should be played. Unfortunately, we don't do that anymore. So we're not allowed to make contact. And so this, we're going to have a little look.
Now, if a throw takes a catcher towards the line or towards blocking where he would be ending up blocking a plate, that's a different story. But I'm not sure you can make that case. But the Cardinals are not going to challenge this.
How do you not? It's a shame that we're even talking about it, to be honest with you. Makes me kind of sick to think about you can't.
That's a foul ball off the bat of Tommy Edman.
Protect the plate as a catcher. Well, and you think about it, Danny, that play right there, we talked about one time Joe Girardi did that to me because I kind of gave him a break. And I thought, I can't do that anymore because I'm not the one going to get hurt. And you have to slide in hard, but that's why catchers get run over. That's the play. Some guys are going to go in hard, and that's a fair game. But if you go out of your way to try and hit a catcher, that's where I think they should eliminate everything and just be like, it's going to be a decision that's going to come down from the top. And if you go out of your way to hit a catcher, you're going to get suspended, fined, and in a big way. But play the game like that.
It's the home plate collision rule that is reviewable in terms of being able to challenge, and they didn't do it. So now it's Tommy Edman with 2 outs, and that is line foul. Tommy, first time up, grounded into the shift, and he's 0 for 1.
Well, I think I might challenge that play just because watching the Dodgers with the infield in, you're thinking something's up, right? So I want to try to get every run I can. If they are worried about scoring runs, and I want to get my runs across the board.
Very short lead at first by Woodford. Runner at third is Andrew Kisner. A ball and 2 strikes on Tommy Edman. Way inside, and it's 2-2. So Kisner snapped an 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. His double into center to bring in Dylan Carlson. 1-0 in the home half of the second. 145 hits this year, second most among switch hitters. Tommy Edman. Mookie Betts comes in and makes the play. Cardinals strand a pair, pick up a run, and the double and RBI by Kisner. 1-0 after 2. Padres in that day, 30,000 fans ages 16 and over take home a hat highlighting Cardinals third baseman Nolan Arenado, courtesy of Nathan's Famous. Cardinals.com/promotions for tickets. Andrew Kisner with the RBI double, 1-0 St. Louis as we move to the top of the third. We're at Busch Stadium in a beautiful day for baseball here in the Gateway City. The T-Mobile coverage cam. And with the Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds, Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Well, Jake Woodford, a couple of strikeouts in the second inning. He's allowed just one hit, no runs. No Albert Pujols in the lineup today for the Dodgers. He's gotten a start in a couple of games and sitting on 679 career home runs. And you don't know, this could be the final time we see Albert in a major league game here in St. Louis.
I think it might be, to be honest with you. All the years I've known him, I've never heard him even talk about chasing a record. So I'd be surprised if he does shut it down. But you never know.
I would have to think Dave Roberts would try to get him an appearance in this game, knowing what it means to the fan base here in St. Louis and maybe what it means to Albert as well. There's a strike with a breaking ball to Austin Barnes. It's been a fun series. Dodgers a good team. Some big names in the sport, and they have delivered. Whether it was Yadier Molina with a 2-run homer yesterday, Pujols in his first at-bat homering back in St. Louis, Adam Wainwright at the age of 40 last night, and a guy that many of us that love this game, we've been following him a long time, whether it was high school or down at the University of Missouri or in his pro career, St. Louis native Max Scherzer. And he was dominant in game one. 3 balls and 1 strike in his next start. Max Scherzer more than likely gets strikeout number 3,000 in his career.
That's incredible. I was looking at that the other day and was thinking, am I reading a typo? Is he at 3,000 already? Wow.
37-year-old and still going strong. And
so
the
awesome.
3-1 pitch to Barnes. There's a really good piece in The Athletic on Max Scherzer. Came out this morning and talking to players, coaches, those that have had him. Mike Maddox had him. There's Max Scherzer. Mike was the pitching coach in Washington, and he said Max was ahead of the game in terms of analytics. He said you'd go out on the mound and he was always studying, always thinking about the next start. And you'd say, well, we're going to face Austin Barnes here, and he likes to do this on this pitch, X amount % on that. Okay, I don't have a great feel for it. Let's go with this. He said he was just ahead of the game with every single start to go along with an incredible work ethic and a desire to be the best. A fly ball into shallow right. Lars Nootbaar is there. There's also an interesting part in that piece in which, you know, he had just the aches and pains that any player will have, and they went in and did just like a look at his elbow, and they came back and said, my goodness, he's got like the elbow of a, I'm paraphrasing,
20-year-old,
like a 20-year-old. There's no fraying, there's no chips, there's nothing.
I think he's got great mechanics. I mean, you know what, good mechanics, and throws a lot of fastballs, which is obviously good for your arm. And I think the other thing too is watching old school baseball. He airs it out a lot, you know, long toss, but on the mound he's always throwing, and it's just this is an old school pitcher, and he is just, it's crazy. It's one of those guys, like, there's not a lot of guys in the league, you know, when I'm not here I don't watch, but he's one of those guys that I would turn on the TV to watch pitch.
There's a 1-1. And that's the interesting thing. When he came out of the University of Missouri, teams, they loved him, and he went 11th to the Diamondbacks, but they said, well, mechanics, they're kind of violent. You know, can he repeat him? Is he going to be injury prone?
That's why they.
And now everybody says, oh, look at those great mechanics he has.
That's why they all are searching for the next big thing, because most people really don't know.
So I did a lot of his games at the University of Missouri, and he was must-watch college baseball. He was awesome. And what you see here is what you got even back there. The aggressiveness, the will to win, all those things.
It's a personality trait,
Yes.
you know, and you can see, like, it's almost like watching Nolan Ryan. You could see that he was out there to be in charge, and he was going to come at you.
Well, 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the lineup, and Mookie Betts fly to left, first time up. Fastball and a strike.
Such a great pitch so far for Jake Woodford today. That sinker away. It's a little bit off the plate, and it just runs back for a strike. Been able to throw that pretty successfully today.
Betts is 8 for his last 43. Think about the hip with a hitter, and he's had to go on the IL a couple of times with the spur, the bone spur in the hip. You can't open up, or you can't lunge a little bit.
Having a bad hip in this sport is bad. I think about, like, Izzy having hip surgery a couple times, and I mean, just got to be miserable. You know, you can just see it when his hip was hurting when he was trying to pitch.
Couldn't finish.
Couldn't get over his hip. You know, you're throwing, even if you're on the infield, outfield, you're hitting against it. It's just the middle of your body takes a beating. I would say, like, almost from your knees to your chest is just like beat up and sore every single day.
1 ball and 2 strikes. The next 2 Betts outside.
It's funny too, is you really don't think about, like, the swing is such a violent act, and even just that check swing right there, where you're starting your swing and then you got to stop it and pull it back. I mean, I've gotten hurt just trying to, you know, pull the check swing back sometimes, and just your obliques can't handle the force.
The 2-2 pitch to Mookie Betts. Doesn't get the call on the outside corner. Betts, along with Kershaw, Bellinger, Albert Pujols, all on this roster, and former MVPs, and also a bunch of Cy Young Award winners as well. They are loaded up.
Loaded up to about 300 million, huh?
Kershaw, Price, Bauer, Scherzer, all Cy Young Award winners. And the 3-2 pitch to Mookie Betts. The first walk for Jake Woodford, and it brings in Muncy. A lot of interchangeable parts with this Dodger lineup too. For instance, Betts at second base. He can play the outfield, which he's done in this series. You have Muncy, he can play third, second, first. He's even been in the outfield. Chris Taylor has played a ton of innings at various spots on the diamond for Dave Roberts' club. And the National League, that's so important when you think about double switching. No DH. Nice pick by Kisner. Kept it in front. Keeps Betts at first.
He's actually played, you think about Max Muncy when you look at him, he's actually played 39 games this year at first base. I mean, at second base, sorry, second base. To get Albert in the lineup, and talk about unselfish. I mean, he doesn't look like your typical second baseman. He does a nice job over there too. To get him in the lineup, keep him in the lineup, get Albert in the lineup. You gotta love to be able to move guys around.
Initially a 5th round pick by the A's in 2012. And a guy that will take his walks, works the count full, doesn't swing all that much, but when he does, it's in the strike zone, and it's with hard contact. Just like that. Base hit to left, cut off by Tyler O'Neill. Betts to third. Muncy to second. Standing up with a double. Runners at second and third with 2 down.
It's 2-line drives today off of Muncy's bat. 1 for an out, and now 1 for a double. Good job of staying on the sinker right there.
Kisner out to visit. Runners at second and third, and it brings in Trey Turner. Extended his hitting streak to a career high 16, and that's a Dodger high here in 2021. So Trey Turner Guy that comes over that will be a free agent after next season. Interchangeable parts, can play short or play second base. And with Corey Seager on the bench, Turner just shifts over to shortstop. And when he's at short, yeah, he's still one of the best in the game.
Just can't believe how much he's grown as far as a player. Just used to be a little bit of a slap hitter, push the ball around with line drives and could run like crazy. And now he's turned himself into a really good hitter with some pop. He's a good player, man. I like watching him play.
One of the fastest players in the league as well. He joined the Dodgers on August 6th. Since that time, hitting above 300. 3 home runs, 10 doubles, 9 runs batted in. Interesting path, as he was originally selected by the Padres, number 13 overall out of North Carolina State. And a base hit into left field. 1 run will score, and that'll tie it up. Muncy will stop at third. Betts scores, and we're tied 1-1. So Woodford got the first 2, and then the key at bat maybe is the walk to Betts. Double Muncy, Trey Turner base hit. He's 2 for 2. Now Justin Turner.
And then both of the base hits right here back to back. Then balls have been up a little bit, not where he's wanted them. Trying to get that ball inside and doesn't get it. And Muncy's ball is up and out over the plate. So thought he had maybe a strikeout. End up being a walk, and then giving up 2 hits after that.
In his career, 13 years in the big leagues, Justin Turner hitting .305 with runners in scoring position. People forget, you think about his time with the Orioles and the Mets. He actually was originally selected by the Reds 7th round in 2006. Couple of home runs and a double in this series. Fly to right first time up. It was a sliding catch by Newbar, and that's off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dodgers have won 26 of their last 35. Best record in baseball since July 31st. But yet still 2 games back of the Giants. And the 1-1 pitch to Turner.
So patient at the plate. It's crazy. I think what you watch with him too is how soft he is with his legs. How stable he stays back, but the stride is so easy that as soon as he sees pitch that he doesn't like, he just shuts it down. And he's got quick hands, so there's nothing really super violent for him to get out of control.
But he trusts his hands and allows the ball to get deep.
And he stays back. That's what I was saying the other day. He stays back so well.
2-1 pitch. It's something I think that Tyler O'Neill has done a lot better for the Cardinals this year with his quick bat. The fact that he's able to let the ball get a little bit deeper, sometimes jumpy, but this is a good example of letting the ball get deep.
Well, it's the thing is, like, as a hitter, you have to think about hitting the ball up the middle and the other way. And then when the ball gets inside to you, you just rotate a little bit more. You don't try to do anything else. You don't try to get the bat out in front. Because once you start thinking about that, it takes you out of your game plan as far as trying to stay on the ball. And that's why I said he doesn't, he's okay with fouling the ball back deep, in the count and missing a pitch because he's trying to stay consistent with that.
Turning out to be a long top of the third here for Jake Woodford. Got the first 2. Barnes flied to right. Gonsolin grounded out. Looked like it might be a quiet inning. Mike Maddox, the pitching coach of the Cardinals, out to visit. Then it was a walk on a 3-2 to Mookie Betts. Muncy the double to left. And then with runners at second and third, Trey Turner, 2-out RBI base hit to left. And now Justin Turner the walk to load him up for Cody Bellinger. So Muncy, Turner, and Turner all aboard. Bellinger with 6 career grand slams, and that included one earlier this season at Dodger Stadium against the Cardinals. They're all loaded up in a 1-1 game. And Bellinger on the first pitch skies one into right. Nootbaar has it. LA ties it up, and it's 1-1. Beverage every game day. Valid April 1st through October 3rd on every Cardinals home or away game. Paul Goldschmidt to lead it off. Base hit to right, first time up. Starts him off with a breaking ball in the dirt at ball 1. Cincinnati will be in town tomorrow night. First of 3 all-important weekend series for both clubs. Cardinals are 7-9 against the Reds. Then back out on the road. 3 games at Citi Field in New York. Cardinals split a 4-gamer here in St. Louis earlier this year. And then San Diego will be in town. Kick off another homestand and the reunion of the 2011 St. Louis Cardinals, a championship club. Cardinals did not win a game out west against the Padres. And currently the Padres second in the wild card. And a leadoff walk. So the pitch count right around 50, and that was going to be probably max. Gonsolin's return, the Kia player profile. Tyler O'Neill, the Cardinal left fielder, off to a good start here in September. And we mentioned a lot about what he's doing against breaking balls. Now he's picked it up against the fastball.
Well, guys have figured out that they can't throw in breaking balls, so he's been forced to hit the fastball, and he's been up to the task.
O'Neill with a fly ball into right center. Bellinger over to make the catch. And the first out. Corey Knebel, who is the starter in Game 2, one of 9 pitchers that appeared in Game 2, is getting loose in the bullpen for the Dodgers. There's Nolan Arenado, grounded out to short his first time up. Nolan has been so good with runners in scoring position this year. Picked up another RBI last night. His 91st to lead the club. But he's first in average, first in OPS with runners in scoring position. As Goldie is back in safely. And I bring it up because it has been a typical Nolan Arenado type year in terms of home runs, runs batted in. First year away from Coors Field. He's one shy of 30 home runs. He'll be the first Cardinal primary third baseman with 30 or more since Scott Rowland did it back in 2004, part of the MV3 season of Pujols, Edmonds, and Rowland.
Remember that guy?
The 1-0.
Good swing right there.
He might get him here, Jimmy. He's due. Gonsolin is probably, running on fumes a little bit here. And Nolan jumps him for number 30.
Needs to get one of those right there. Yeah, and I said his brother Jonah is here, and he said, hopefully I get to see number 30 before I go home. So this would be the day.
Nolan leads third baseman in the National League in doubles, home runs, runs batted in, third in hits. He could be on his way to his 9th consecutive Gold Glove. A count of 1 ball and 1 strike. And the next to Nolan Arenado. 1-2. He's also shown the ability with 2 strikes not only to get on base but hit for power.
It's crazy to think about what you said the other day. Mabel started game, went through 15 pitches, only threw 1 inning. They used 9 pitchers, like you said, Every guy threw an inning. It's like a spring training game, except for one pitcher that only got a third of an inning in. But isn't that, I mean, have you ever seen that in a regular season game ever? 9? Everybody goes 1 inning?
Extra innings, I've seen it, sure.
Yeah, in September, in the old days.
Yeah.
It's a spring training game if I've ever seen one.
Dylan Carlson doubled down the right field line and scored on the double by Kisner back in the second inning, made it 1-0 St. Louis. Dodgers have come back with a 2-out RBI single by Trey Turner. 27 doubles for Dylan Carlson, and he's tied with Jonathan India for doubles among rookies in the National League. We'll see India, probably the front runner for the Rookie of the Year. We'll see him tomorrow, the second baseman of the Reds. Lined up to pitch in game 1, John Lester and Tyler Mahle. The 0-1 pitch to Carlson, kept in front by Austin Barnes. Hit the other way, down into the corner, and it is a foul ball.
Oh, that would have been so nice right there. Such a good swing. Ball's up and away, and it just leaks into foul territory.
Foul, and not by much. Plus, it stayed at the base of the wall. A lot of times, those balls that hit down there, it's a one hopper over the wall and a ground rule double, and you've got runners then at second and third. So now Carlson in the hole with 1 ball and 2 strikes. Trying to extend the inning to Lars Nootbaar. Pitch number 55 from Gonsolin. A check on Paul Goldschmidt. Steven Souza, McKinney, and Barnes due up for the Dodgers, looking ahead to the 4th inning. Shift on the right side with 2 strikes and the 1-2 pitch. Tied him up, struck him out, 3 strikeouts for Gonsolin. 1-1. Saturday, 10,000 fans ages 16 and older take home bobblehead of the 2011 World Series hero and MVP David Freese, courtesy of Ameren, Missouri. Cardinals.com/promotions. So the Hall of Fame and 2011 reunion coming up that weekend. And a breaking ball taken high.
Very tight strike zone today. Very tight.
Steven Souza Jr. And the 1-0 is a fastball and a strike. And that is hit out of play. He's had a 30 home run season. That was back when he was with Tampa Bay. 3rd round pick back in 2007. Fastball taken high. Last couple of nights, 5 through 9 in the Dodger lineup, combined to go 0 for 22. Souza struck out his first time up. The 2-2 pitch, and he struck him out. Jake Woodford with strikeout number 3.
I just really like the way Jake's going about it. It's like he's just really trying to throw strikes, get ahead with the fastball. It's been working on that outside corner all day, running that ball back.
And the batter will be Billy McKinney. Fly to left his first time up. Shift on the right side. And there's strike one. Phillies and Rockies will hook up later tonight. Phillies get word that Zach Eflin is done for the year. Philadelphia, they have played very well at Citizens Bank Park at home. They're 11 games above the 500 mark at home. And starting tonight, they've got 14 of 17 at home. They begin 3 games out in the wild card. The 1-1 pitch by Woodford. Mets and Marlins coming up later tonight. Here's a look at the East standings. The Braves are on pace. They lead it by 2.5. They're on pace for 86 wins. So the Mets would have to win 16 of their final 22 to match that. Mets fouled back. So the Phillies in the wild card, 3 back, 2.5 in the East. The Mets 4.5 back in the wild card, 4 back of the Braves in the East. Braves are 73 and 65. And the 2-2 pitch popped up. Paul DeYoung is there to put it away for the second out here in the top of the 4th. The batter will be Austin Barnes. Dodgers have had some activity in their bullpen. As we mentioned that Gonsolin, they were looking at 3 innings or roughly 45-50 pitches. Well, he's above 50 pitches and his spot is on deck.
Yeah, I would think that if you're the manager, you would like to get to his spot, or you don't really want to have to double switch this early, but do you want your reliever hitting? So this is a decision time here for the Dodgers.
So Knebel continues to throw. Gonsolin on deck, maybe just for show. And the 1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes.
I don't. You know what? I don't know. This is like, you know, sometimes when you prefer to just kind of pitch around the 8-hole hitter and go after the pitcher. I'm trying to get this guy out to force the Dodgers to make a decision. Might burn 2 players.
Shallow right, Lars Nootbaar. He'll make the catch and a 1-2-3 for Woodford. Midway through 4 in game 4 of this series. Tied up at 1. Cardinals baseball on Valley Sports Midwest, brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the St. Louis Cardinals. Beautiful day here in the gateway city of St. Louis. Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds alongside. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes, our reporter on the scene. And this is Corey Knebel. The Chevy called to the pen. Knebel, the Brewer that was so effective out of their pen, then had arm issues. Dodgers picked him up. Started game 2 of this series, now coming in relief. A shift on the right side. Here's Lars Nootbaar, and the rookie jumps on the first pitch and pops it up a mile high.
And he just missed that pitch right there too.
The catch made by Mookie Betts for the first out. So Gonsolin goes 3 innings, gives up a run, walks 2, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts. Here's Paul DeYoung, who walked back in inning number 2. So on the bench today for the Cardinals, Molina, Sanchez, the backup catcher, Bader, Sosa, Rondon. From the left side, Matt Carpenter. Shift on the left side of the infield here for the Dodgers. DeYoung with 16 home runs. That's up and in. 97 from Knebel. Paul has seen his playing time cut back with the emergence of Edmundo Sosa, who's played very well.
Yes, he has. He's deserved to get in the lineup the way he's been playing.
Two balls and a strike. Two and two.
That's interesting. It's that ball right there off the face mask. I feel like that face mask, because of just the less noise, gives you less issues as a catcher. It's interesting to hear, like when Yachty just gets a ball off the mask like that, how loud it is and how the ringing of the ears. And can't really tell. Like if I was the catch, I think about this all the time. Which would I use? I feel like somehow this one is a little bit more or a little less, noisy and but a little bit, more maintenance. You know what I mean? Like a little bit more effort to take it off and move things around. But I don't know, that catcher's mask seems to be so loud. It almost makes me think that you can get semi-concussions from that, the noise of that.
Well, they've got the and that's more of the traditional look of the catcher's mask. There are springs near the forehead at the top of those masks to try to absorb the blow. And then you have the hockey style mask, which Yachty uses.
Yeah.
And that's more to prevent the the 100% of the blow, kind of have that glancing blow if you can off the sides.
More of a glancing blow.
Did not go in the second walk for Paul DeYoung.
It's funny too, we saw a ball the other day go off the catcher's mask, but off of the outside of the mask where the bar is, basically to protect your ears. And I thought that day, man, if you had a hockey mask on, that probably would have slid right on by. So it's hit or miss, I think, every day. I just find it, would love to see kind of a little bit more maybe effort made to show what would be actually better in some kind of a, you know how they used to do like that sports science and stuff.
Well, the guy that would know probably better than anybody was Mike Matheny. What mask to use dealing with those concussions.
Well, he used the old one and then went to the hockey mask pretty early. I think I love the mask that he used to use. I actually bought one in an auction because I wanted it so bad. I don't know why I did that, but just to help the people out, because I probably could have got it for free if I would have asked.
He's like one of your buddies. Why are you buying?
Just helping out the cause.
Kisner slaps it foul. He's got an RBI double today. Alex Reyes throwing in the St. Louis pen. So if you get a couple of runners on, you might see a pinch hitter for the man on deck, Jake Woodford, and that was the RBI double back in inning number 2. Kisner has brought in 7 this year. And that brought in Dylan Carlson, who also had doubled back in the second inning, and that made it 1-0 at that point. Dodgers have tied it up. And the 0-2 pitch, instead a check on DeYoung, who has walked a couple of times in this ball game.
Kiz almost did like the Willie Mays Hayes when almost didn't make it to second base on the slide. Just stopped a little short.
Keep coming.
Keep coming. Stretch out your fingers.
The 0-2, instead another check on DeYoung. Dodgers will face San Diego first of 3 tomorrow, so they push back Urias to face San Diego. Joe Musgrove, the right-hander, San Diego native, threw a no-hitter earlier this year, will go for the Padres. DeYoung is running, and that will be a stolen base for the Cardinals shortstop.
He was gone. Don't see that very often, and he's not like the fastest guy in the world. The catcher didn't even have a chance to make a throw. He's got such a good jump. Just slow to the plate and bad pitch, but no chance to throw him out.
First stolen base for DeYoung since all the way back late June 26th against Pittsburgh. Cardinals have one hit with runners in scoring position today. That was Kisner. They're 1 for 4. One ball and 2 strikes. Kisner looks at a called third strike. 2 away. And will they pinch hit now for Woodford? And it looks like that they will with Matt Carpenter.
It's a good breaking ball right here. Look at this pitch. Straight over the top. Frozen a little bit right there.
So Woodford done after 66 pitches. Reyes will come in. And Matt Carpenter will be the pinch hitter. Mark Pryor is the pitching coach of the LA Dodgers, and he's out to visit. Quick scouting report on Carp. While we have a moment, quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Convenient access to your money anywhere and award-winning support anytime. Great Southern Bank, rated the #1 bank in America by our customers, according to Forbes.
Matt Carpenter just celebrated 10 years of Major League service the other day. Great accomplishment for any ball player to reach that milestone of 10 years in his last 19 games. It's been a rough go. Not a lot of playing time. And he's 0 for 26 with 11 strikeouts. So trying to snap that here. Maybe it's the do factor. Shift on the right side. And that pitch taken for a ball. So in those 19 games, only 4 have been starts. He has walked 5 times. And trying to put the Cardinals back on top with a base hit. Runner at second is Paul DeYoung. And the 1-0 pitch. Taken high, 2 balls and no strikes.
Every time you say the do factor, I think of the wet grass. I have to think like
different do, Jim.
I have to think like it's not wet out there today. The do factor is due for a hit.
Phil Bickford is up and throwing in the Dodger bullpen. 2-0. Get after it here on this pitch. All right, 2-1.
Pitch right there. 97 in the black under your hands.
When you think about the kind of hitter Carpenter has been over these 10 years, taking a ton of strikes, working the count deep, but as a pinch hitter, and you're facing guys that are coming in at 98 to 100, you get ahead in the count. I mean, you let it go. 2-0, 3-1, those kind of things.
Got to be ready to go. That's for sure. The pitch right there might have been unhittable.
2-1 pitch to Carpenter. 2-2. Knebel trying to send us to the 5th, tied at 1. Carpenter pinch hitting for Jake Woodford, who gave the Cardinals 4 innings. Gonsolin gave the Dodgers 3 innings. The 2-2 pitch struck him out. So Knebel, back-to-back Ks, gets Carpenter, sends us to the 5th, and we're tied at 1. Care difference maker, the starter today for the Cardinals, Jake Woodford. 4 innings, 3 hits, walked a couple, struck out 3, and gave up a run. With more on Woodford, let's check in with Jimmy.
Yeah, Danny, Mike Schultz says getting some time in Memphis really helped Jake. Prior to his call-up, Jake was in his last 2 starts in Memphis. He was 2-0 with an ERA of 2.77. Schultz said really all he needed was to pitch. He hadn't pitched a ton at high levels. We pushed him into an opportunity here, and he held his own. He went back down and worked on some things. Main thing is he needed touches. And Danny, as for Alex Reyes, Schultz said before the game that now that Alex's role has changed, they'd like to get him built up with as many innings as they can, so he would have the opportunity to compete next year as a starting pitcher.
And that may start today. It's the earliest we have seen Alex Reyes pitch in a game. It's the 5th inning, so he goes into Carpenter's spot in the 9th position in the lineup and certainly could be extended here today. Corey Knebel, they're going to try to extend him as he swings and misses. It is a 4-man bench with one of your guys for Dave Roberts being the backup catcher, as Knebel puts it in play, and a ground ball backhanded. Reyes to the bag at first, and there's one away. Adam Wainwright was saying the other day that he talked to Alex Reyes after he gave up the home run, and he had a tough road trip. There's no doubting that, with 2 walk-off homers, Tsutsugo in Pittsburgh, the grand slam by Vogelback to win it. And he just gave him a big hug and said, look, you have to realize you're really good. And as tough as this is to put those kind of games behind you, you have to. As cliche as it sounds, but understand that your stuff is elite. Believe in yourself and bounce back. That's all you can do.
Yeah, and it's just about, I mean, he had a tough go in that Milwaukee game with the strike zone a little bit, but you just got to throw strikes. Keep the ball out of the middle of the plate. He's got great stuff. Be ready to throw all your pitches for strikes.
Ground ball and a base hit. Mookie Betts.
Because here's the thing, as a hitter's standpoint, right? You know his fastball is pretty straight, even though it's explosive. So if you don't throw strikes, and the hitter is just looking dead red, and they're going to cheat. And you see the situation right here, right? He's just looking for a dead red fastball, and even though it's 97, the hitter's going to be ready for it.
And that'll be the key moving forward in any role for Alex Reyes, is commanding the strike zone, period.
And even, first pitch if off speed, you got to throw for a strike. You throw the slider for a strike. Maybe, a little cutter or something like that, but it's got to be strike one, especially coming out of the bullpen.
Here is Muncy. 1 for 2 with a double to left. He's 0 for 2 in his matchups head-to-head with Alex Reyes. His walk rate has roughly been 18 to 20%. So if you're a starter, that means you're lasting 4 innings. You're not going to be able to stay in a game. Well, I mentioned how they, even though rosters have expanded here in September, it's a 4-man bench with one of your guys being your backup catcher. So they allow Knebel to hit, not using a pinch hitter. And you may see them then go back to their bullpen for the 5th inning. They've got 9 righties and 2 lefties in their pen. 11 guys in the bullpen for the LA Dodgers.
Going back to Reyes, you think about it, he's still just 27. 27, he's been around for a while. He's only thrown in about 92 games, 61 of them this year. So his last 4 years, he's really only pitched in about 30 games, if you think about it. So he's still learning, and he's still, like I said, we all know how quickly the game can move on you as far as a year. Like, you don't get a lot of time to work on things. If things are bad, it's hard to be able to go out there and work on stuff and then stay in games and then stay mentally focused when stuff hits the fan, and it's can go quick. And he's in a rough stretch right here, but he's still young as far as baseball is concerned. He's still learning.
The pitch in the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike. So an all-star season first half for Alex Reyes as the closer of the St. Louis Cardinals. And then the second half happened, and the wheels came off. 2 balls, 1 strike. Second half, 0-5 the ERA, about 6.5 for Alex Reyes. Line drive into center. Carlson, late break, but makes the catch.
I mean, Danny, 2016, he pitched in 12 games. Didn't pitch in 17. In 18, he pitched in 1 game. Then pitched in 4 games in 19 and just 15 games last year. So think about that. That's not even high school season as far as how much work he's gotten. And then now all of a sudden he's in 61 games. And like I said, those 61 games can go really fast, especially only 61 innings. So it's not like you give up a couple of runs and you get to go back out there and go, okay, I did this wrong last inning, I'm going to try this. Well, no, you get 1 inning, you get 1 shot. And to make adjustments on the fly in the bullpen are tough for guys, relievers, especially young relievers, because you're not really max effort. You're not really getting after it and learning as much as you possibly could if you were out there for 4 or 5 innings.
You hit a key phrase there, max effort. And as a closer, max effort primarily. As a starter, guys will back off so they can last the 6 to 7 to 8, maybe 9 innings.
Well, and as a starter, if you're, like you.
So are you going to find the strike zone more if you're not max effort?
Yeah, and you think about just listening to Adam Wainwright talk over his press conferences, over his pressers for the past couple of years, and he'll say, well, didn't really have my breaking ball for the first 3 innings. Well, Alex Reyes doesn't have that opportunity. He has to have everything running into the game. And when your fastball can be straight at times, even though firm, if everything or something else isn't working, what are they going to look for? They're going to look fastball, and it is hard to throw the ball by a big league hitter. Just doesn't happen.
And the 1-1 taken high. Trey Turner is 2 for 2, doubled into the left field corner to extend his hitting streak to 16. Career high, and he's hitting .317 during those 16 games, and then had a 2-out RBI single to left. And that scored Mookie Betts to tie the game up. Betts is running, and a fly ball hit down the right field line. Slicing foul. And a nice play made by that fan. Nicely done, young man. Awesome. Comes to the ballpark.
Bring your glove.
Skipping school. Love that.
Skipping school.
And he brings his glove and gets a souvenir.
What a play.
I hope that's not Ferris Bueller's nephew. Well, the cameras are going to find him now.
You can't say you're at the dentist today, son. And your mom is in trouble, too.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss, and he struck him out. So a souvenir. Skip school. You get to see the Dodgers and the Cardinals. And a strikeout. What an inning. Help fight cancer. First 50 riders on the Blues Can't Stop Colin team receive a complimentary registration. For more information, how to sign up, make a donation, go to stlouisblues.com/pedal. Bill Bickford is the new pitcher, the right-hander in. Chevy Cole to the pen. Speaking of the Blues, congratulations to the Blues former captain David Backes, who has signed a one-day contract with St. Louis to then officially retire a St. Louis Blue. What a great career. Tommy Edman, and the first pitch fouled back, strike 1. Edman has grounded out twice, and he is 0 for 2. Bickford, the third pitcher used by LA. Gonsolin went 3. Knebel, the scoreless 4th, and now Bickford here in the 5th. It's interesting how teams, and in this series we've seen it on display, how the Cardinals in 3 of the 4 games dealing essentially with bullpen starts. And so, every inning, every other inning, it's a different pitcher, and you got to gear up.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's not an advantage for the Cardinals because you're literally making adjustments on the fly, and then you're seeing guys maybe you haven't seen before, and you're only getting one at bat against that person.
Two and two the count. Edman hits it up the middle, but again into the shift. And again, there he is, the third baseman, Justin Turner. So in this 1-1 game in the bottom of the fifth and one out, we tell you that this Saturday, September 11th, 30,000 fans ages 16 and over take home a patriotic baseball cap courtesy of Country Bob's. 4 different versions of that hat. Cardinals.com/promotions for tickets. It's a 6:15 first pitch this weekend. So 1 out and nobody on. Goldie fouls it back. Dodger bullpen gave up solo home run in 3 innings of work last night. 1.69 their ERA in September. The relievers going all the way back over a month ago, early August, a 1.95 ERA.
That's incredible. Think about that. That's everyone doing their job. Everyone.
0-2. And the 0-2 pitch to Goldie. Struck him out. Cardinals have struck out 6 times in this ball game. And there's 2 away, and it brings in Tyler O'Neill.
Little spinner right here. Got underneath it. Whew. That's that.
With 3 pitches in that.
Yeah, that's the best pitch in baseball right there. That backup slider.
Now O'Neill 0 for 2. Cardinals with 3 hits in the game. The Dodgers with 4. Both teams have left 5 on. Shift on the left side. And O'Neill takes a ball.
There's the adjustment with the slider right there.
The wild card has been great for baseball. Initially I wasn't sure, then I saw how it played out, and now the second wild card has been added, and that is hit out to deep left. Did he get enough? It's at the wall, and it is gone. It's a home run. Tyler O'Neill just over the wall in left. Souza may be hurt. He's down on the ground. And it's a 2-1 St. Louis lead as Tyler O'Neill pops his 25th home run this year. Just got over the wall.
He's that hanging breaking ball again. He didn't miss it.
Souza may have jumped just a bit early.
He just wasn't over there enough, and like I said, it doesn't feel good to hit the ground out there, especially on the track. The track is hard as a rock. And
I don't think it was how he fell. Maybe it was, did he hit his wrist or hand oddly against the wall? They're checking on that with Souza. It was a ball last night that just got over the wall for Tyler O'Neill. He's got 12 career hits against the Dodgers, 6 extra base hits, and 4 home runs. All have been solo shots and 2 in back-to-back games. Here's Nolan Arenado. Two-1 now in favor of St. Louis. Shift on the left side. Nolan is 0 for 2 today. Hits it down the left field line, and that hook's foul. Home run distance into the second deck, but yanked it foul. They scurry after that souvenir. The 0-1 pitch. Pulled foul, nothing in
That was
2.
again right there. Wow.
The breaking ball has not been
Yeah,
sharp.
he's getting underneath it a little bit. It's just kind of rolling up there. See that elbow drop a little bit, getting on the side of the slider, and it doesn't have any downward bite. Just kind of sliding across, but not really have enough spin to create enough movement.
The 0-2. Pulled. Oh, what a play here. Diving stop by Turner, and he robs Nolan Arenado. What a play, Justin Turner. And turnaround is fair play. Nolan's done that plenty of times in his career. Great play, Justin Turner. The home run hit by O'Neill. With that blast, it's 2-1 St. Louis. They're 1 out in the wild card. Cardinals 3.5. All 3 games on Valley Sports Midwest. The Budweiser What's on Tap. John Lester is on the mound for the Cardinals. And the last time that he faced the Cincinnati Reds, went 6 innings, gave up just 1 hit. Kyle Farmer home run. And his last time out was against the Brewers in 5 1/3 and gave up a run. He is too shy of 200 wins in his career. Second inning of work for Alex Reyes. It's the 4th time this season O'Neill has homered in consecutive games. And here's Justin Turner, the 0-1 pitch. What a great play that was, diving near the line by Turner.
I like the quickness and the throw from the knees.
The pitch was up but pulled foul. 2 strikes on Turner. We're in the top of the 6th here in St. Louis. Turner has flied to right and also walked in on a 1-2 pitch. Taps it foul. Will we see Albert Pujols one more time before it's all said and done? Not making the start today for the Dodgers. It's one of the questions left in this game. Cardinals, can they earn a split after dropping the first 2? Winning game 3. Turner with a fly ball into shallow right, coming in and making the catch, Lars Nootbaar. The batter is Cody Bellinger, who is 0 for September. He came up with the bases loaded back in the 3rd. It's a mound visit by Mike Maddox. First pitch to Bellinger, skied one into right. 0 for 2 today. 0 for his last 22. And there is the shift. The right side of the infield for Bellinger.
This guy takes a hack, doesn't he?
It was interesting. He does. And you talked about how he drops to a knee sometimes. I mean, he lets it fly. And Albert Pujols was holding his hip as he was working with Bellinger the other day at the cage. Almost as if he was opening up so much and pulling off.
Yeah, cheating a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. He's that type of hitter. He's basically an all or nothing kind of guy when he swings. But he's a good hitter. He'll hit the ball the other way. But you just see him leaking a little bit, right? And sometimes you can do the smallest thing to get out of whack. You know, maybe you just leave a little bit early, or he's pushing himself off his back leg a little too fast and not staying back. You can see it's weird because he looks to me like he's taking great swings, but the stride looks really rough, and you can see it's fast, and that's not where you want to be. And if that's just a little bit quicker than normal, it throws everything off. And watch how it looks almost violent a little bit, like it's quick. And he was not like that before, and it was more of a smoother stride and then the big swing. But you rush just a little bit with that stride, and it just throws your body forward. And you can trust me that he is watching him.
And it's Albert the other day with Bellinger.
can see right there, they're talking about that hip going out. And a lot of times it has to do with that front foot and how you're landing. That front foot lands a little bit flat and rolls over the top. Then all of a sudden your hips and your knees are gone, and then your bat drags.
And the 2-2 fouled back. Well, he was right on that pitch. So he is driven in 7 against the Cardinals this year. 7, and he has a total of 33 on the year.
He's only got 280 at bats this year, so he has missed significant time.
The 2-2 and a full count. The 3-2 pitch. He got him. Strikeout of Bellinger. Second strikeout for Alex Reyes. And Bellinger 0 for 3 with a pair of Ks.
And there's the good slider right there. I mean, that's the strikeout slider versus the get me over and the one that's been missing. Chance to bury that with 2 strikes, and he did. But you could see Bellinger right there. He was over his front leg where you definitely don't want to be.
Now Steven Souza 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Went for that home run ball that was hit by O'Neill, was slow to get up. We'll see if that affects him here in this plate appearance. The 1-0 pitch. Pitch count nearing 30 for Alex Reyes. So going from a closer now to trying to bridge the gap in some of these middle innings. This first time, this might be his final inning of work. We'll see. The 2-0 pitch. Lined into the gap in right center. Nootbaar is over and makes the catch. Lars Nootbaar. Carlson. Nootbaar. The young coming up midway through 6. As presented by the authority of the Cardinals, not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Game summary: 2-1 St. Louis, home half of the 6th. Gonsolin started, went 3, gave up a run. Trey Turner now a 16-game hitting streak. Jake Woodford made the start for the Cardinals, 4 innings. Tyler O'Neill, a home run to put the Cardinals on top. Alex Vesia, appearing in his 34th game. Chevy Cole to the pen. Made his major league debut in July last year. And that was as a member of the Marlins organization, originally 17th round pick in 2018 out of Cal State East Bay. Carlson, Nootbaar, and DeYoung. Both teams with 4 hits. And Dillon takes a pitch high. Carlson hitting .339 against left-handed pitching. Shift on the left side of the infield. And the 1-0 pitch to Dylan Carlson. Fouled back. Gonsolin went 3. Knebel pitched the 4th. Bickford scoreless, or rather gave up 1 run in the 5th, and now Vesia here in the 6th. TJ McFarland throwing for the Cardinals. The 1-1 to Carlson, who's 1 for 2 today. Popped up near the St. Louis dugout and out of play. Yeah, McKinney, Barnes, and then a pinch hitter for Vesia. Will that be Albert Pujols? especially if it's TJ McFarland on the mound. Primarily, Albert's been used against lefties coming off the bench.
You're in a close game, and you're a manager of the team that's winning. You have to be careful of who you bring in because of the matchup.
Sure.
And especially in this ballpark with that guy, there's something about it. I want to, if I'm trying to win this game, I'm keeping him on the bench. I don't even want him in the game at all. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'd love to see you play, and you've been great here in St. Louis, but I'm trying to win today, so I'm bringing in a right-hander.
And if you're Mike Schilt, you're saying, well, Gallegos was last night. Is he available today? More than likely. You used Alex Reyes, and then you've got Garcia and McFarland that have been really good. And for the first half of the season, it was the big three. It was Cabrera, Gallegos, Reyes, but that has changed here in the middle of September. Three-two pitch. Got him. Strikeout of Dylan Carlson to start the home half of the sixth.
Just a good placed fastball right there, and Dylan not catching up to it right there. You can see just really basically just threw it right by him.
And we mentioned that we'll have the reunion of the 2011 team. Not this weekend, but the following weekend. And there's still some of those guys that are active in Major League Baseball from that 11 club. There's Lars Nootbaar. And you've got four of them in this series.
Playing right now.
Albert Pujols, Molina, Wainwright. Matt Carpenter appeared in 2011 briefly. Picked up his first Major League hit that season off of Kerry Wood. You've got Lance Lynn, who's pitching for the White Sox, and managing the White Sox, it's Tony La Russa. And his club is up by 11 games in the American League Central over Cleveland. They're 80 and 59. One ball and one strike. Shift on the right side for Lars Nootbaar. 0 for 2 today, and he pops it up and out of play. Cardinals swept the Dodgers 2019. That was the last time that they were here. Obviously did not come through in 2020. And since then, the Dodgers have won their first World Series since 1988. In 19, David Freese was their first baseman. Albert Pujols now a member of the Dodgers. The 1-2 pitch. It is hard to win championships, period. It's really hard to repeat. Really hard. Matter of fact, 2007. So when you guys won in 06, 07 is the last time the Cardinals finished below 500.
I think that the grind of that last month in every sport is unbelievable, and it takes a lot out of you.
The 2-2 did not go. Full count on Nootbaar. A 3-2 pitch to the Cardinal right fielder. Nootbaar pops it up left side and out of play. The Dodgers, one of the deepest clubs in all of baseball. 61 different players used, 32 pitchers this year, most pitchers they've ever used in a single season. Another 3-2 to Lars Nootbaar. Got a back-to-back Ks. Cardinals have struck out 8 times in the ball game. StubHub proud to be an official partner of the Cardinals this year. If your plans change, you can easily list your tickets with StubHub. Use our free seller toolkit. Help manage the price of your tickets. StubHub, sell your tickets in just a few taps of your phone. Download the StubHub app today. Here's Paul DeJong. Remember the dew factor?
Yeah.
He's due.
There is no grass that is wet out there.
No, sir. He did have a double off the top of the wall a couple of nights ago in center. And he's sitting on 16 home runs. He's got 2 walks today and a stolen base. .328 career hitter against Los Angeles. Shift on the left side. Outfield just about straight away. And the 1-0. Oh boy.
You missed that one?
I would say so. But DeJong didn't even look back, didn't say anything. Stayed quiet. 1 ball and 1 strike. Andrew Kisner is at the on deck circle. One and 2 on the Cardinals shortstop. 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Dodgers in a 1-run game potentially in the 7th. A lefty coming in. And Albert Pujols still on the bench.
Oh, I hate to say that, but leave him there.
Oh, if you're Dave Roberts, you're going to get him in this game. I think one way or another. Foul back. Good cut.
See, when you're just a tick off, you're just a tick behind. I think that might be a little sneaky. The fastball coming out of his hand. You can see a lot of the guys that have trouble catching up to it.
The 1-2. So it doesn't get that one.
Yeah, I expect to get it right.
Yeah, 2-2.
Was running off the mound. Well, I threw the other one a foot outside and he called it, so I'm going to keep throwing it out there. That's as bad of a miss as we've seen in a while.
The 2-2 pitch and a full count. Full count delivery, and DeJong strikes out. This lefty comes in, Vesia, and strikes out the side.
August 13th with left elbow discomfort. His rehab program was shut down as the pain never subsided. Today, Mike Schultz said LeBlanc is shut down for the rest of the season and that Wade will likely need some medical work at some point. Tough news. Danny Wade pitched well for the Cards. They picked him up really as a bullpen piece, but he really helped stabilize that starting rotation. For Wade, 8 starts for the Cards, 3.53 ERA as a starter. He did a good job.
No question. And when they needed him, he was there to kind of help stabilize the bullpen initially and then the rotation. And now it's TJ McFarland. The lefty is in, 7th inning. Chevy Cole to the pen. Luis Garcia has 21 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings, most in baseball. Right behind him is this guy, T.J. McFarland, with 17. And that is the longest streak he's ever had in his career. It's Billy McKinney, Austin Barnes, and then a pinch hitter. And the first pitch taken for a ball. Harrison Bader takes over in center. And Dylan Carlson shifting from center to right. We see Albert Pujols here in this inning as a pinch hitter. Very well could.
I'm going to go with yes.
I would agree. Sets up 3-batter minimum. Pitcher spot due up third. And Albert
walked right into it.
And Albert Pujols primarily has been used against lefties. And done a lot of damage too. Effective. 2-1. First game he ever played in this ballpark. Pujols was April 10th of 06, over 15 years ago, and he homered. It was the opener of this ballpark in 06. Stayed until Game 7 of the 2011 World Series. Then we did not see him until he came through with the Angels. It had been a long time. June of 2019, and such a memorable series in those 3 games between the Cardinals and the Angels, and he homered in that series. And there's a high fly ball lifted out to right. Carlson plenty of room to make the catch in the first out. Albert Pujols moving to the on deck circle. Here's Barnes. In St. Louis, over 1,700 games, 445 home runs, 1,329 runs batted in. His average in those 11 years, 328, over 2,000 hits. Albert Pujols. Strike one on Barnes. While in St. Louis, Albert made 7 trips to the playoffs, 3 pennants, 2 world championships. Never won a playoff game while wearing that Angels uniform. And that will change this year with the Dodgers, you would have to expect.
Yeah, I think so.
Truly one of the greatest Cardinals ever is on deck. And here he comes. Albert Pujols. He represents the tying run. And will this be it? The final time he ever steps in that batter's box here at Busch Stadium. After so many years and so many great moments and memories. Everyone standing here at the ballpark. He has not decided whether or not he will play next year. The 1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. His first at bat in a Dodger uniform in St. Louis a couple of nights ago resulted in home run number 679 of his Hall of Fame career.
Just think about that. 679 home runs.
3 balls, no strikes, and you know he's got the green light. Outfield very deep for Albert Pujols, and a shift on the left side. The 3-0. 3-1. Still a very productive hitter against left-handed pitching. The legend digging in for what could be the final time in St. Louis. The 3-1. And he walked him.
Surprised they're not running for him, aren't you?
It's a short bench,
outs,
but
yeah.
I'm thinking the same
Pitcher.
thing, that maybe you use a pitcher in this spot. And that's one of the aspects of, if he plays next year, you sign him. I mean, you realize that primarily he's going to play and pinch hit against left-handed pitchers. He really can't run all that well. And to that point, the Cardinals basically playing behind Pujols at first base. The 0-1. That was the 300th career walk for Albert Pujols at Busch Stadium. Mookie Betts 1 for 2 with a walk, a single, and a run scored. Ground ball that's hit to short, and a forced play at second. If this is indeed the last time we see him in St. Louis, thanks for the ride, Albert. It was awesome. Ball on Valley Sports Midwest is brought to you by Simon Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer close to home. And by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Joe Kelly, the Chevy Colt of the pen. Jim Hayes had a nice visit with Joe Kelly, and they started the interview with a single shot of Jim. Well, thank you very much, guys. I'm here with former Cardinal, now in Dodger blue. He's received such a great warm reception. I'm paraphrasing here. In his return to St. Louis, fans have been dying to see him come back. And let's welcome into the conversation Joe Kelly. Thinking it might have been Albert Pujols he was visiting with. It was Joe Kelly.
I like it. The cat had a little ha-ha moment, huh? Good for him. Suspenseful.
Home half of the 7th, 2-1 in favor of the Cardinals. It'll be Kisner, Bader, and Tommy Edman. Taylor takes over in left. Souza moves from left to right. Joe Kelly into pitch. Still a big arm. Joe Kelly throws hard. Got good stuff. Honda home run inning. Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri if the Cardinals hit a home run. Third appearance in this series for Joe Kelly. 23 pitches, 2 innings, no hits. And a base hit into center. Kisner is second in. There's an RBI double back into second. And now a single to start play here in the home half of the 7th.
Another good job by Kiz, just staying back, not trying to do too much. Joe Kelly's got wicked movement going both directions. Sinker, breaking ball, and you just got to wait for a pitch to hit.
So leadoff single, and now it's Bader. Boy, if this is indeed the final time we see Albert Pujols, man, what a ride it's been with Albert. Even as a visiting player, so much fun. The series with the Angels, and again in his return here with the Dodgers. first ballot Hall of Famer. And for my money, best hitter I've ever seen.
By far. And you know what? I was just thinking about that when we were talking about him coming to the plate, and I thought, well, it's a shame it's not a Sunday where there's 45,000 people to show their support one last time. But I think he gets the idea that these people still love him and appreciate everything he ever done for this organization and this group of fans in this city. And I think the support and the ovations are awesome.
Now, I didn't see Miguel Cabrera play every day, and he'll go down as one of the greatest right-handed hitters ever. But I watched Albert in his prime and did most of his at-bats, most of his games, and I've never seen anything close to it.
I stood right behind him.
Unbelievable. And the dramatic moments, the timing of those moments, game on the line, and I mean defensively too, where he was willing. I've always said, you, Yachty, Albert, Scott Rowland, game on the line defensively, you guys are willing to take the calculated risks where some guys put that ball in their back pocket. Not with you guys. You took the chances, played on the edge, and it was so much fun to watch. I can't imagine a writer not putting him on the first ballot. Derek Jeter had one writer that didn't give him a vote.
I don't even understand that. How does that happen?
Ridiculous.
I just don't see how they're still allowing the writers to vote that clearly are not paying attention. It's a shame. They should figure out a way to fix that, because it's not the same game as it used to be, and they don't watch it the way they used to.
Bader fouls it back just below us here in the booth at Busch Stadium.
That was the closest one all year.
So Mariano Rivera, only one that's gotten 100%. Jeter, Griffey, Tom Seaver, Nolan Ryan.
Well, how do you even Griffey? Like, seriously? How do you miss that vote? Who do you vote for?
I guess what you're doing is you're trying to keep others still alive, knowing that he's going to get in anyway.
But that's the point. You vote for the guy who's most deserving. You don't vote for another guy because you want to see him get another year on the ballot. You vote for who should be in the Hall of Fame right then and there. And if Ken Griffey Jr. is on the ballot, he should have 100% of the votes. He's the best player to play in that era by far, and his numbers are astronomical. So why are we not voting for him? And Derek Jeter, I mean, regardless of the numbers, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. So who's not voting for him?
Well, one guy did.
It's a joke.
3-2 the count here on Bader with a runner at first. That's Kisner. Leadoff single against Joe Kelly as we play here in the home half of the seventh. The 3-2, Kisner running, and Bader pops it up. Turner, I'm not sure he saw it once it got up, and then the shortstop came in, Trey Turner, to make the catch, and that's the first out. While we have a moment, quick word from Ryan Kelly. Come on in, Ryan.
The only thing faster than the supersonic golf cart is the 21-day closing guarantee. Only available at thehomeloanexpert.com.
All right, Ryan, be careful. Thank you, Tommy Edman.
Slow down, Ryan.
Tommy Edman is over 3 groundouts today.
Supersonic golf cart.
So 1 out, a runner at first. First pitch to Edman, taken for his strike. Albert Pujols in his Cardinal rankings will finish 8th all-time in games played, 3rd in runs scored, 5th in hits, 2nd in home runs behind Stan, 2nd in doubles, 2nd in runs batted in, 2nd in walks. The interesting one to me, the runs scored. So Stan had 1,949. Lou Brock 1,427. And then Albert Pujols, who always talked about an important stat for him outside of the home runs, slug, OPS, runs batted in, but runs scored. And you would ask him, why is that so important? And there's a balk before the changeup that was swung on and missed, and a balk called on Joe Kelly. So Kisner would take second base. And remember, Albert, the goal was for him every year. He's like, I want to get to 100. And he said, if you don't score, you can't win. And that's the bottom line. You got to win, and you got to take chances. And boy, did he ever. Did you see the balk?
You have to watch one more pitch because
maybe he didn't pause.
It looked like he didn't pause, but it actually looked like he paused. So the thing with that is, if he paused in a different spot than normal, then that would be the balk. But I don't know, man. That was really close.
That's his first career balk. 1-2 the count on Tommy Edman.
The thing for me is how much different was it than normal? He held for a while.
Right.
He's working the running game, and you can see when he sets that foot comes up a second time, and yeah, if he comes set and just goes really quick, then he's not only is it a little bit deceptive, but it also catches the umpires because they're used to seeing him do certain things in a certain way. So maybe a quick pitch a little bit. I don't know if that was a true non-stopping balk.
0-2 the count. The interesting thing when you look at Pujols in his time in St. Louis, collectively the Cardinals ERA was 5th best in that time frame. Now he goes to the Angels, and for nearly his 10 years there, collectively he was 21st in baseball. So my point is that you surrounded him with a Mike Trout and some good players, but they never had the pitching to really match what they would do offensively, and that's one of the reasons they didn't win.
The Angels were always like that too. And the one year that they won, they got pitching, and they had some guys that had been around for a while to hold that group together. But every other year other than that, pitching has been, the tough part of that lineup.
No balls and 2 strikes on Tommy Edman in a 1-run game here in the home half of the 7th. And he got him, pulled the string, and a strikeout of Tommy Edman. So Kelly has gotten 2 outs. And it brings in Paul Goldschmidt. It's 10 Cardinal strikeouts in their lineup today.
That's a changeup right there.
Goldie is 1 for 2 with a single to right. Struck out swinging and also a walk. .314 the average with runners in scoring position. Kelly, the 5th Dodger pitcher used in this game.
It's a great pitch right there. That's the pitch that Jake Woodford was throwing all day today. Out on the edge, a little tailback. That ball, when it comes out of the hand of a right-handed pitcher to a right-handed hitter, they think it's going to be a ball, and it just tails back over the plate.
And the 0-1 pitch. Goldie lifts it in the air out to shallow right, may drop, and a sliding catch by Steven Souza Jr. We head to the 8th in a 2-1 game.
The Cardinals Line post-game show. Ricky Horton, Rick Ankiel will join me. Another day, another homer for Tyler O'Neill. We'll take a look at his day, plus maybe the final time we'll see Albert here at Busch. We'll talk it all over. Let's go back across the street to Danny and Jimmy.
All right, Eric, thank you. McFarland, they're going to extend him for one more inning. Remember when the Cardinals brought him in, that was kind of the idea. Number one, he throws strikes, but it was also a guy that could give you multiple innings in the middle of the game to bridge the gap. And so His role, though, evolved with Helsley getting hurt. He came in with runners on. He'd get a lot of ground balls, and he'd get those double plays. And with scoreless innings, you're going to move up the ladder a little bit in terms of importance, and that certainly has happened here.
Well, you think about what you want as your bullpen, and you want guys that you can count on, obviously, but consistency. So you want to know, when I bring this guy in, my worst case scenario is they're going to beat the ball on the ground and they're going to get some hits. You know, he might struggle a little bit once in a while, but he's going to throw strikes, he's going to keep the ball down, and he's a ground ball pitcher. Yeah, he's not going to have a 0 ERA if I run him out there 60 times, but is he going to be able to just go out there and do what he normally does? And that's what McFarland has been able to do. He doesn't get away from his game plan. He doesn't try to do too much. He doesn't elevate the ball. And that's one guy, every time you call on him, you know what you're going to get.
So might be just facing Muncy. We'll see. Luis Garcia is up. There's a strike. 2-2 the count. So you get the lefty-lefty matchup here, and then Luis Garcia finish off the 8th, and maybe, who knows, trying to get the final 5 outs. You never know. Cardinals with a shift on the right side. They need every win they can get. Tight ball game again. A little bit low. 3-2 the count. Once he flied to right, lined out to center, and a double to left. The 3-2 pitch. Got him out in front, and a fly ball lifted into right center. Bader is there for the first out. So Mike Shildt will go to Garcia here, with Trey Turner and Justin Turner coming up. Still on the bench, Seager and Smith. Good work again by McFarland. Scoreless inning and a third. It's a 2-1 game here in St. Louis. Ages 16 and older take home their own Cardinals beanie, courtesy of Brown & Brown and Brown & Cropin. For tickets, visit cardinals.com/promotions. So 1 out, and Turner hits a fly ball into left, battling the sun. O'Neill with the glasses on makes the catch. Garcia gets the first man that he faces, and out number 2 here in the 8th.
I think that sun is going to be an issue here, but not going that direction. If that ball's hit into the gap a little bit, at that same height, Harrison Bader is going to have to hightail it over there to help him out, because you can see the shadows are kind of at an angle behind the players, and that means that the ball is over his left shoulder, not over his right.
There's Justin Turner. Sliding catch by Nootbaar right to rob him of a hit in the first. Walked into third, flied to right in the 6th. Cardinals have O'Neill, Arenado, and Carlson due up. Then at that point, it is the pitcher's spot. So if you go 1, 2, 3, then Mike Shildt, do you stay with Garcia? Or if you're Dave Roberts, do you try to maybe walk somebody to go to have them make a move with Garcia, who's the longest consecutive scoreless streak currently in baseball? I mean, this guy has been
right there.
Terrific here.
He's 98 with run up.
Makes you think he's got closer stuff.
Said that the other day.
And the 0-2 pitch. Jammed him, slowly hit, charging DeYoung. Garcia gets the final 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Middle of the St. Louis lineup coming up in a 2-1 game. for the LA Dodgers. Bottom of the 8th rolls in, and back in the 5th inning, Tyler O'Neill with home run number 25. Just, and I mean just over the wall and left. That's the difference right now in this ball game. 2-1 in favor of St. Louis. The Dodger closer is in. He needs some work, and that is Kenley Jansen. Well, we have a moment. Brian Cawley, the tournament director for years at Whitmore Country Club here in St. Louis, raised millions of dollars for so many different charities in town. He passed away this week. He's a huge Cardinal fan, and our thoughts are with the Cawley family and the Whitmore community on the passing of Brian Cawley. So here is a former catcher, Kenley Jansen.
It's a big old catcher.
Yep. The saves leaderboard, Melanson with 37. This is in all of baseball of the Padres. Liam Hendricks of the White Sox 33. Will Smith 31 of Atlanta.
6'5", 265.
Jansen, Jake McGee, Raisel Iglesias, Josh Hader, all with 30. And the first pitch to O'Neill. Notched his 9th straight save last week. He passed Hall of Famer Raleigh Fingers' 14th all-time saves list. He is perfect since he blew 3 saves in a row. And that was in the middle of July, and since that time he's been perfect. 2 strikes on Tyler O'Neill. During that stretch, he's 1-0 with a 1.5 ERA. 30 or more saves in 7 seasons for Kenley Jansen. Oh, 2 pitch. And a strikeout of Tyler O'Neill. Cardinals have struck out 11 times in this ball game. Giovanni Gallegos is throwing in the St. Louis pen. And due up for Los Angeles in the 9th inning, Bellinger, Souza, and Taylor. It was a quick inning for Luis Garcia, and you think about maybe pushing him.
Well, I don't think that's much of a push, but definitely have that option right here.
Well, if you have a 1-2-3, you don't necessarily have to do that. If not, Garcia's spot 4th up in this inning. We'll see how they want to play it.
That would be partially why Gio's throwing right now.
Nolan Arenado has grounded out twice and struck out. The old cutter, and this guy's got a good one.
Yeah, we got a good look at that one that O'Neill struck out on the slow-mo. Just, you can see it's not overly much. It's just enough to move off of the barrel.
So Nolan 4 hits against Kenley Jansen. One of those a home run. And the 1-1.
Tried to go with a straight one right there and try to get in on Nolan and missed.
The 2-1 pitch to the Cardinal third baseman Nolan Arenado. Good rip. Fouled back 2-2. It's only 5 pitches for Garcia. So again, the option for Mike Schilt is that if the Cardinals go 1-2-3, he's left on deck, and you could bring him back out.
See a little frustration right there. Arenado, he knew he missed his pitch.
The 2-2. Popped up. And this will be Turner. Makes the catch. Nolan 0 for 4. Dylan Carlson Double down the right field line back in the second inning. Came around to score on the double by Kisner. That was in the second and made it 1-0. Dodgers then tied it up. Tyler O'Neill, the home run in the fifth. The difference in our game. Another 2 plate appearances for Dylan. Strikeouts. Shift on the right side of the infield. Dylan started in center, then moved to right field. And a ground ball. Jansen to the bag and a 1-2-3. We head to the 9th of Game 4 of this series. Gallegos coming in. 2-1. Pen has stood out for St. Louis. 4 innings combined, just 1 hit, a walk, 2 strikeouts. Budweiser players of the game. Reyes, McFarland, inning and 2/3. 2/3, 5 pitches for Garcia. And now they'll turn it over to Giovanni Gallegos as the Cardinals are trying to earn a split in this 4-game set against the Dodgers. 2-1 our score. Pujols did appear in this ball game, walked in the 7th inning. Trey Turner extended his hitting streak to 16. Woodford started, went 4, gave up a run. Tyler O'Neill with home run number 25. So Giovanni Gallegos to face Cody Bellinger to start this inning. Gallegos yesterday, 2/3 of an inning, only 8 pitches thrown. And he had a couple of strikeouts to finish it off for Adam Wainwright, picking up Adams' 15th win of the year. Our Chevy called to the pen. Giovanni Gallegos, and here we go in the 9th. Bellinger is 0 for 3 today. 0 for his last 23. But always dangerous at the plate. And the first pitch is taken for a ball. Head to head, Bellinger is 0 for 1. Cardinals trying to pick up win number 71 and go to 3 games above 500. Shift on the right side and a 1-0 pitch. Popped up. Left side, battling the sun again. Arenado, he's got it. First out here in the 9th inning. Corey Seager will pinch hit for Steven Souza. Seager coming off the bench.
I like the fact that even though the game's on the line, that Gio kind of challenged Bellinger right there with some fastballs, trying to go up and above his hands, staying in tight.
And there's strike 1 on Seager. Missed a bunch of time this year. Middle of May, fractured hand, came back in late July. Former first-round pick, 18th overall by the Dodgers in 2012. A free agent to be, and a heck of a player. Nothing in 2. Chris Taylor on deck. Seager hitting .280 against the righties this season.
Take a look and see what we can figure out going behind the plate. Take a look at some signs. Slider in.
The 0-2. Every game so important down the stretch. especially again starting tomorrow night. The first of 3 against the Reds. But still unfinished business here in St. Louis.
So the way he takes that slider right there makes me think that he's aware of it. So you can either do 2 things. You can throw one again a little bit closer to the plate, or you can try to beat him with the fastball, knowing that he's kind of paying attention to that slider. And there you go. And throw just a little bit better one closer to the plate. You're going to get a swing because he's definitely looking and thinking about it.
So the strikeout is Seager, 2 outs. And it's up now to Taylor to extend the ball game. 2 outs here in the top of the 9th.
The last time we did a game together last week, we were talking about that slider, how it was kind of going around the outside of the plate. It was getting up and out of his hand. Today right there, it looked like he's made the adjustment now back down and definitely in more to the lefty.
Two outs and nobody on, and the first pitch, a strike in the outside corner.
There's your payback for DeYoung right there. Bad timing for the hitter, though.
Taylor hitting .248 against right-handed pitching, 14 home runs against the righties. Cardinals trying to make it 2 in a row against Los Angeles and earn a split in the 4 games. The 0-1 pitch. Take it high. Austin Barnes on deck if Taylor can extend the game. 1 ball, 1 strike. The next by Gallegos. Now 1-2. The Cardinals 1 strike away from win number 71. The 1-2 pitch. Outside.
Try. Gotta throw that. That ball's any close to the plate. He's got to swing at it. It's a good try right there.
Down even at 2-2.
I'm going to go with the slider. Ooh. Well, he went from fastball up to the slider. Let's see if he can make the pitch.
The 2-2. Check swing. Did not go.
Have to throw it again. He's got to throw for strike. Can't expect a chase. You have to make a pitch right here.
3-2 pitch. He got him. A strikeout to end it. And the Cardinals hold on for a 2-1 win and a split against LA.
Pretty good job right there by everybody's pitching staff, especially holding this lineup down to just 4 hits. Woodford, Reyes, McFarland, Garcia, and Gallegos. Nice job, guys, today.
Bullpen
Nice job.
sensational in this game today, and the Cardinals, by virtue of the win, 3 games above 500 at 71 and 68, with the Reds coming to St. Louis tomorrow night. Great ball game. And a split against the Dodgers. O'Neill the home run. The bullpen did the rest. 2-1 the final. Post-game show comes your way next.
Rick Ankiel will join me next to break it all down on Cardinals Live. Tyler O'Neill continued his improved hitting in the month of September. We'll have a look at his day at the plate, plus Albert Pujols in maybe his final appearance at Busch Stadium. We'll have more on his tremendous career ahead. Plenty of player reaction from the Cardinals clubhouse. It all comes your way next on Valley Sports.